The next one is Waimāero, Fendalton-Waimairi-Harewood Community Board.
Excellent. Well, good morning, everyone, and thank you for the chance to come in and present. Look, there's just a couple of things we thought we'd touch on today. There aren't any partes for you to make decisions on from us, but there's just a few highlights we wanted to run through. So I've got Mary Ann with me from the governance team, and if we move to the first slide, potentially, if we can.
What have you done? I know it's not working today. It's hiding behind.
Yeah. Oh, cool. Okay, so the first thing is just to update you, the board recently approved a trial of residence parking permits in Merivale Lane and Homewood Road. So that's something that's going to be quite interesting to follow for the next wee while. It's something that I think Jamie's been working on quite a bit locally over the years, and it's great that staff have come up with the idea that we can actually work through with that. So it's something just to be aware of. The next thing is the Fendalton Service Centre and Library. So you may recall last time we were nearly ready to go, and it's fantastic that it's been reopened to the community following a few upgrades. There's just a couple of things to note, and Carolyn Potter will be wrapped. We have got an accessibility desk, or an accessibility station at the library, which is fantastic. We did it particularly for you. And then following on from that, on the first day alone, there was over 1,700 items which were booked out. So it's fantastic, and it just shows the value that that library has in our community. And I certainly know the feedback that Mary Ann and I and the board are getting is that it's wonderful that it's reopened, and particularly over the winter months, there was a queue on the first day for people coming in. So it's really good to see. Next up, we talk quite a bit about Bishopdale Mall regeneration. There's been quite a lot of work being done, and it's practical work. It's not just sitting around in meetings talking about things. These guys are getting out there and doing it. And one of the good things, just to point out there, is there's a lot of wooden seating and that's being upgraded through the area, and the men's shed have partnered with us to do it. So it's fantastic that that's being done. And I think it's worth mentioning that Mary Ann, Natalie and the team have got a bit of a forward work program in terms of a few things that we can do that aren't expensive but actually make tangible outcomes for them all. And I guess the other side of that is, while we are doing that, there's obviously the development with Mitre 10 and the old Mitre 10 building. There's a health hub going in there next year, which I think will again bring people back to that mall. So it's a really pleasing thing to see. It should actually create a bit of generation in itself. Probably the final thing just to touch on is the Dusk Till Dawn event. You might see in the photo on the right, Aaron Kewen. Aaron was doing some kind of zombie apocalypse presentation for the kids, I think, and it worked out really well. There were no complaints or anything like that. No one got too scared, so that's fantastic. But again, it just shows, that our team are working really hard in the community on a range of different things. So look, short and sweet this month. It just touches on a few things that we are doing, and again, just signal that the 17th of August we're having our submissions on the Harewood-Breens intersection, and obviously there's an open invitation for ITI to come along to that should they wish to as well, and then that'll progress through. So yeah, so that's it from us.
Thank you. I've just thought, I didn't realise that Aaron had played that particular role. I won't comment on it, the appropriateness or otherwise. Just to note the World Futsal Championships in Orlando, where you're funding or contributing to the funding of 5 young people attending various events. Just to note that Orlando sent a very special message after March 15, and if there's I've already replied obviously to the mayor, but if there is a message that I could send with the young person or people that are going, it would be nice to be able to do that.
We'll take that up and come back to you.
Yeah. And the other thing that I was going to mention was, the actual report says Dusk Till Dawn, so rather than Dusk Till Dawn, the headline says dusk, and then the actual report says dust, but that probably fits in with the zombie side of things. But
Yeah.
it was just, I don't know, I just like
Freudian
after
slip.
the chocolate fish for the typo notice, you know,
Yeah.
noticing a typo.
It will be now.
But actually, that's not much more seriously. We've obviously got an item on the agenda in relation to the Northwood explosion, and I kind of wanted to kind of reflect on that. And I think you may have a view as a community board about the welfare response.
Yeah. So I mean, there's two things there. Obviously, the welfare response was fantastic. The council staff, and I know Aaron was basically there straight away along with the team, and they spent a good couple of days with them. But it was fantastic from that point of view. We were kept in the loop, which I think was really important, because there is people that contact us on it. In terms of, I guess, you've got the item around the rates remission and things. Look, we haven't a formal view on that, and I know we've been in trouble as a board, or some of our members have, when we've canvassed views that haven't been canvassed by the board in this forum. So I'd be reluctant to speculate on it. I'd much rather leave it for you.
Yeah, no, we're going to review the recommendations. I think staff have reviewed it also, and they'll be bringing a different set of recommendations to the meeting when we get to that item.
Yeah.
I guess in terms of the welfare response, I just want to kind of just get a flavour from you about the sort of civil defence component, because of course it wasn't our emergency, but are you keen for us to do a review of that process and perhaps report that back to you?
Look, it would be good if it's formed part of a bigger process.
Yeah.
That'd be fine.
That'd be good.
Yeah, I think any improvements that can be made would be really useful. So.
Thank you. Thanks, Sam. Dion?
Yeah, I just saw your part around your residence parking permit scheme. Quite interested around issues in the central city as well. Now, that was developed by the community board, was it? Or
No, staff have come to us. So, I mean, Jamie could probably speak more to it, but it's been signalled by residents locally for a long time that they want to trial that. Riccarton are doing the same. Yeah. And so we're just going to see how it runs and if it's something that potentially is feasible long term.
And are they the residents paying for that permit?
Yeah, it's $54 for a permit.
Yeah, so we do have them in the central city, but I think we do need to look widely at the issue.
Yeah.
Doing it. All right. What it is? Yeah, Yanni?
So I thought my understanding was we're not doing residence parking anymore. So the new parking policy that we've put in place, you have to go time restrictions first, and then you can only do it certain streets.
Well, the issue is that we don't have delegation.
This was an exemptions regime.
Well,
this is
our board
it's actually
doesn't have that
slightly
memo then,
different,
so we're
so
doing it.
I don't really want to tie people up.
Yeah.
Eh? Yeah,
They
it's
need it
already
there,
in
and we're
place, and they're trialling it, and I think that's a very sensible way.
Yeah.
I want to actually encourage community boards to trial things, and I want the council to trial things as well. There's actually no harm in going through a trial process.
Yeah.
The trial can become the permanent decision, but going through a trial actually enables people to experience what it's like. Before it actually happens.
Yeah, I mean, we've just been asking for some of these things in the 4Avs, and we've been getting a different story, which is why I thought it was quite interesting seeing it there. And also the community board, we don't have delegation over a big chunk of our residence areas
Sorry,
as
did
well.
I misunderstand this? Did it not read exemptions?
We're putting in a trial period.
Yeah, you're trialling the exemptions,
Yeah.
the residence exemptions area pilot
Yeah.
on a 120
6 months.
Dion, we can
section.
speak offline about it too,
Yeah.
because
And also read the new suburban parking policy
Yes.
because it's in there.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Suburban's different from the CBD. Right, okay, so Raf, would you like to move the report? Sure. And James, would you like to second the report? I'll put the motion. All those in favour say aye. Those opposed say no. That's carried.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thanks, Sam.